the Honorable Governor Arthur Defensor Sr. of the Province of Iloilo, Undersecretary Alexander Pama, Administrator of the Office of Civil Defense and Executive Director of National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, Undersecretary Fernando Cui, Vice Chair, Senior Officials Meeting, Commissioner Emmanuel de Guzman of the Climate Change Commission, Mr. Diego Garcia Gonzalez, APEC Secretariat, Governor Joey Salceda of Albay, Mr. Oscar Lopez, Chairman Lopez Foundation, esteemed delegates from the 21 Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation member economies, representatives from international organizations, fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We should acknowledge the reality that the world today is experiencing the increasing complexities of disasters brought about by natural hazards and human-induced elements. This has been proven by the occurrences of past major disasters in the Asia-Pacific region, attesting to the common observation that disasters are becoming more unpredictable with increased frequencies, magnitude, and scope. The manifestations confirm that disasters can strike any economy at the most unexpected place and time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the concept of the new normal reality about disasters that we have to contend with. The prevalence of disasters in the new normal manifestation has serious implications to our inter-economic relations as it cuts across several APEC concerns and priorities. This new normal phenomenon causes major disruptions to trade relations, businesses, and investments across the Asia-Pacific region. Disaster impacts lead to serious losses and damages to various infrastructures. As revealed by the World Bank estimate, the APEC economies have incurred disaster-related losses of over $100 billion every year for the last 10 years. Most importantly, disasters have caused tragic losses of precious lives of citizens in the APEC communities. In response to the prevalence of disasters, the APEC has considered disaster risk reduction as one of its main priorities. For the past years, our APEC leaders have made declarations to strengthen disaster risk reduction mechanisms in the region. Presently, the APEC economies have stepped up by introducing innovations, developing policies, and organizing working bodies such as the Emergency Preparedness Working Group to address disaster impacts. For example, during the 8th Senior Disaster Management Officials Forum in Beijing, China, last year, the APEC leaders have committed to maximize the application of science and technology to further strengthen disaster risk reduction. Currently, with the emerging concept of the new normal, we need a more holistic, proactive, multi-stakeholder, and longer-term interventions, specifically to make our economies resilient against disasters. This is the main reason why we are here today in the beautiful city of Iloilo to participate in the 9th Senior Disaster Management Officials Forum with the theme, Whole of Economy Approach, a paradigm shift to adapt to the new normal. The 9th Senior Disaster Management Officials Forum highlights that disaster risk reduction is not just a concern of an economy or small group of economies, a sector, or an organization by itself alone. Rather, disaster risk reduction requires a robust and sustainable inter-economic cooperation in the Asia-Pacific region. The primary goal of the 9th Senior Disaster Management Officials Forum is to endorse to our economic leaders the proposed APEC framework on disaster risk reduction as our new paradigm to mainstream disaster risk reduction in the APEC agenda. The APEC framework on disaster risk reduction is primarily aimed to promote APEC-wide collaboration on disaster risk reduction by providing a common direction in order for the economies to be more responsive to the new realities on the serious threats and challenges posed by stronger and more frequent disasters. With the consensus of the economies and partners in this forum, one of the recommendations of the APEC framework is the elevation of disaster risk reduction issue to a ministerial level, or at the very least, to a high-level policy dialogue. Being a ministerial leader myself, as the chairperson of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, disaster risk reduction has been one of our top government priorities here in the Philippines. As enshrined in the Republic Act 10121, or the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010, we have been involved in effectively integrating disaster risk reduction in all of our policies and decisions to ensure the resiliency of our communities and protect our businesses against disasters. Indeed, elevating disaster risk reduction to the minister's level will help upscale the forum's role in providing directions, setting benchmarks, and in determining future plans of the entire APEC in managing the new normal manifestations of disasters. Let us, therefore, remain confident that the 9th Senior Disaster Management Officials Forum will provide an opportunity to harness the collective wisdom of senior disaster risk reduction officials and experts in support of the APEC's goal for this year, building inclusive economies, building a better world. I wish you all the best as we commit to empower these disaster managers across the region so that they can fully respond to and effectively address the rapidly changing landscape of disaster risk reduction and neutralize the emergence of the new normal disaster situations. Thank you and good morning.